Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record weekly review special for week 32 of the Gaming Decathlon competition. This week, score dropped by exactly 250 points down to 1536. The best round is 1,300 points higher than that, sitting at 28.99 and was scored 9 weeks ago now. The current virtual best did go up to 25.92. And the all-time virtual best also seeing a rise up to 58.26. Now, the reason for the drop 250 points is that one of the games reset, which was Pro Cycling Manager 2018 Career Mode. After the record-setting 439 points a week ago, the season was over. We started a new season. We opened with 13 points already, but we saw that drop of 439 points before getting 13 back. So considering we lost almost 450 points, the fact that we were only 250 points lower than a week ago is actually a good thing, because that means we did manage to raise various scores by roughly 200 points this week. Looking at the 10 games individually, PCM 19 Career Mode, so the 2019 version, saw a small increase this week up to 92 points after the 86 previously. It's not the best week for us, but still some good results, and actually really working hard at a major objective right now. And it's the last really big objective of the year already at this point, and it really will set the tone on how we're looking for next year in terms of sponsor money. In PCM 19 Pro Cyclist mode, first off, the Stage Racer edition, still 29 points this week over last week. Haven't had the best of times in there. It's been a good series, but it's building a little bit slowly. So we're still at 29 points after 16 episodes. But meanwhile, in PCM 19 Pro Cyclist, the Classics Rider version, I just started that series. I started it much later, and in far fewer episodes, just finishing the 8th one today, I'm already at 46 points. I was at 28 a week ago. That is one that I'm finding some really early success on. The odd thing is I'm used to Stage Racer. I'm used to doing well there. And I'll get there, but it takes time. I'm finding that you can have an impact. You can win stages or races a lot easier with the Classics Rider, with a few choice attributes. Can really make a difference. In Motorsport Manager, still on 0 points, getting close to the end of the season, and we went from many seconds off the back to a few seconds off the back, but we're still slow. It sucks. I have a feeling we're going to be moving on to episode number 1 and pick another team to stay in F1, because I don't want to get relegated. And Steel Division 2, things are looking really good finally. It's the second campaign. First campaign, I wasn't able to score points, even though we did really well. Second campaign, now I know about the time constraints, and this time I'm playing to the time constraints. And at least across the north, we are making rapid progress towards our target. So looking good there. In Imperator Rome, holy cow, we just shattered 500 just like that. That score has come up so rapidly after we flipped that switch and became a republic. As soon as we left our tribal roots behind, that score is just shooting up, and we're number 1 in the game. It's just how high can we get? We're getting really close to our target of becoming Gaul, and even though there's still a lot of time left that you could potentially play till the game ends, I think if we complete that goal of becoming Gaul, I think we might be stopping the series at that point. And moving on. And actually, I've already got the next game picked out, and I'm really excited, and I'll briefly announce this one here. I'm not going to give away what the game is just yet, but for the second time on the channel, and the first time it got like 5 views, and so that's not even a fair chance. But for the second time on this channel, I have talked my wife into joining me for one of the games, and she is a very cool person. You'll like her voice as well, and we play well off of each other, and so that should be a fun one. And it is very much a theme up her alley. It'll be a strategy game. And that'll debut in just over a week, by the way, which can tell you how close we are to the end of Imperator Rome. 2 episodes to go. There it is. Breaking news. Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2019 season continues. It is our first season in the top tier. We are playing in Conference A. Holy cow, we made it. We did it. We've come all the way from the bottom to the top. Now, we're still not at the top of the top. We haven't won the NCAA tournament yet. We are not tournament champions, but dang it, we are getting close. We have made it all the way to the top level. So, very excited, but also it presents a big challenge. In the 18 career mode, we have the 13 points that I spoke of. We just started a new season. We have a new sponsor. There's more money. I'm really excited by that. But I posed the question this week with the new season getting started of what I should do going forward. 18, right? It's the older game now. I've quickly found that 2019 is definitely a step up from 2018. I like playing the 2019. I still enjoy the 2018 career mode, but that series has been going on for a while now. The viewing numbers are getting smaller and smaller, especially now that the 2019 edition is out. I was thinking that when I reach the end of this season, that I would retire PCM 18, and because PCM is my most popular game on the channel, sticking with PCM, but progressing to PCM 19, adding another career mode, but in this time using a different mod. The mod that I'm proposing, and you can let me know in the comments here as well if you would like to see this instead of the PCM 18 career mode. When that season comes to an end, I'm thinking about doing PCM 19 career mode with the women's tour. I'd love to bring that to the channel. I think that is a very much underrepresented market, and I think it's time. It is absolutely time to have something on the channel featuring that. F1 2019 career mode, getting better. 2 new upgrades to the car, and holy cow, I finally was competitive. Every race I've been the last car running. Now, some of those races I've been just off the back, close. I've been far, far closer than Kubica is to Russell. I'm driving the Williams, if you didn't know this. If you know F1, Williams is way off the pace this year. Their car is very slow compared to everybody else. So, my car, very slow compared to everybody else. Difficult to drive. I was surviving races. I've finished every race. I've only had to change one wing all season, I think. So, I've been getting through, and I use flashbacks, but very limited. So, for the most part, I've run clean races. I've been relatively competitive compared to what the car is. But finally, I beat 3 cars on track. Beat them on track. And finished a second behind my teammate George Russell. So both of us actually managed to beat a few cars, which was very impressive. And we're heading into a track next week that is definitely one of my better tracks. So we'll see how we do in France, but that was Canada this week. And that, historically, has not been one of my better tracks. So, signs of things to come, hopefully. Draft Day Sports College Football 2019, now at 125 points. That is 5 victories. The best season that I have had, regular season, is 6-6. We've had 5 victories in 7 games. We've had 5 victories in 5 road games. Not all 5 wins coming from that, but 5 of the 7 games we've played have been on the road. We're 4-1 on the road. We're 1-1 at home, but that was a very difficult matchup that we had in that game. Things are going well. We are definitely having the best season that we have had yet. Now, on the other side, all-time virtual best, we do see one change in the standings as Imperator Rome continuing to bag large points, cracking the 500 mark. It's a threshold. 500 doesn't necessarily mean anything, but when the max score is 1,000, 500, well, that's halfway. That's a huge landmark. So I now have 5 games that are halfway or better to mastery. Just 5. Out of everything that I've played on the channel, which is now 26, 27 games in total throughout the history of the channel. That's a lot of games to only have 5 that I've actually reached halfway point in mastery. That does say a lot that trying to master 10 games simultaneously, bit of a challenge. Trying to master 10 games simultaneously while also updating the channel frequently enough to recycle games and move on to the next one. That also says a lot. While still being a human being and having a life and having another job, but coach 4 sports. I run a daycare. And I have a life. I have a wife. I'm a busy person. So to be able to do what I've done and still play other games periodically on my own time, it feels a bit better that I'm that close to mastering at least 5 games now. We've not hit the jackpot yet. PCM 18, of course, was the closest with that 983, almost hitting 1,000. But that's clearly my best game and most favorite game, and that figures. That makes sense. My all-time favorite game, Europa Universalis 4, number 2 on the list, 757. Really good score. Small nation. I was not Somalia. Basically Somalia. Small East African nation. Tiny, itty-bitty nothing nation. And got high enough of a score to get to 757. Now, Imperator Rome, I'm essentially doing the same thing. Tiny French nation. But it's European-based. It's not... However, unlike EU4, where being European-based is an advantage, not in Imperator. In Rome, as a migratory tribe, I was the weakest you could beat starting out. The only difference was I wasn't an OPM. I wasn't a one-province minor. I had 2 provinces and 5 cities, 6 cities, something like that starting out. So, tiny, yes. Not the smallest you could be. But pretty dang close. Game's not done. Like I said, there's a couple episodes still to go. But it will wrap up next week. I'm going to premiere both episodes next week so that we can debut the new game. No changes outside of the top 10. But the all-time virtual best is getting really close to a couple landmarks coming up. One, 6,000. Definitely a landmark. But the next real-world landmark is coming in the near future. And I'm excited for that because once that hits, we're going to start hitting a lot more landmarks frequently. The whole point of the channel initially was this whole comparison, the Gaming Decathlon compared to the Olympic Decathlon, the real world Decathlon. And now we're finally going to start having a score that does compare with those. And I'm excited for that. So stay tuned, more to come, plenty more to come. But another score drop coming soon as Imperator Rome is going to be wrapping up in a week. It'll be a very nice score. It'll boost that all-time virtual best. But new game starting out. So the current score, it's going to drop again. This whole summer refreshing, well, it's August now, so we're going to be at the end of that summer refreshing, and we should be into kind of the same sequence of games for a good while yet. But of course, talking about changing PCM 18 career mode out, and that would be another drop in score, and that's another, maybe I can hit 500 this season. That's another 500 points going away. So we'll see. The more I recycle games, the harder it is to get a good week score, a good best round score. But the all-time score, it'll keep going. It'll keep going because games will make it into that top 10. But that's going to do it for this review special. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're still listening through that last piece, definitely leave a comment below if you think I should renew my PCM 18 series with the women's series in replacement of that career mode. The season just started. It's going to be a while before that happens. But let me know in the comments below. And definitely look for that series to come here in just over a week. The new one featuring my wife. Bye for now.